Kites fly over courts, children laugh beneath banners, and spies mark each laugh. We're here with some Legend of the Five Rings, 4th edition. Oh, and we got some gifts coming here, some subs. Thank you very much, friends. We are a brand new game of Legend of the Five Rings, 4th edition, and we are an amalgamation of various streams. So maybe we'll start by introducing our streaming cast here. I'm going to go ahead and go to Mortal Roles first with Tone and Ree.
Hi everyone, I'm Tone Vera. I'm you might know me as Professor Tone on Mortal Roles, but I run the game. And also with Ree, so happy to be here learning this game for the first time. So thank you, Bob, for the invitation.
Anytime.
Hey everyone, I'm Ree, also in Mortal Roles. I play Eve on Mortal Roles. I play Maruna on the Cat's Meow channel's House of Tremere. And I am super excited to be learning this new system and to be playing with all these new faces. So, awesome. Thanks again, Bob.
Yeah, anytime. To Tommy Matt of All Things Fantasy.
Everyone, I'm Matt from All Things Fantasy, and it's great to be here. I get to play with amazing new people under an amazing GM. It's going to be so much fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Great. Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I stream with Bob doing Pendragon on Tuesday nights, and I just finished up a game with Mark playing Iris on Isle of the Damned, and very excited to be in a new game with everybody here who I haven't played with.
Awesome. Mark.
Hello, my name is Mark, aka the Cat's Meow, and you may have seen me on this channel before in Bob's Pendragon game, playing Sir Florence of Idmiston and the Baron of the Axe. However, here today I am here to play a completely different feudal lord in a completely different setting. I hope you're excited. I also run some vampire games on my own channel, the Cat's Meow. Check us out. And jam. That's me.
Yampa.
Hey guys, I'm Yampa. I play with Bob on Fridays for the Glory of High King Nantiliad. And yeah, super excited to be here playing with new people and a new system.
Excellent. Rain, or Cleansing Rain, rather.
Hi there, I'm Cleansing Rain. I don't know anybody here except for Bob. We played a few games together a while back in some D&D. Mostly do role play in any facet, but not always in the TTRPG facet over on my channel. Haven't streamed in a while, been going through a lot of life things in that whole hiatus that 1 out of 3 streamers is going through at any given time. That's me right now, but very excited for this. Very brand new to the game, and excited to get involved in everything that it has to offer.
Great. And Jim Revan.
Hello, my name is Giamma Revan. You can call me Yen. I make maps and I do games. I would also like to ask for everyone's support of the Phoenix Clan. We are cool and we are amazing and we control all of the elements. Goodbye. No, I'm kidding. I've known Bob for a while, and it's really fun getting to know this new system, and I can't wait to play with all of these lovely people.
Excellent. All right. Well, we have everyone. I'm gonna put on some background music here before we get started. Let's make sure this doesn't play them all at once. Perfect. It did not. Okay. So we're gonna start character creation tonight. For those who are curious about what we're doing here, this is a bit of a dramatization focus of the Topaz Tournament, which is one of the most common sort of introductions to Legend of the Five Rings, because you start as baby, or not quite. You start as mid-teenagers, just about to undertake your trials as a samurai, and everyone who's involved is representing their clan in one of the most prestigious Gempukku, which is the name of the adulting ceremony. You're representing your clan for the entire empire in front of the empire. It's not rare that the emperor himself shows up to this event. It's kind of quite prestigious. And for some clans, not achieving your adulthood is quite dishonorable. So we will see how that goes. Put a little bit of pressure on this. We have a big cast. That's on purpose. So we'll go from there. If everyone could kindly open up your 4th edition Legend of the Five Rings book, we can get started. This system's pretty straightforward. You're ultimately coming from one of the clans, and I'll kind of do some interviews as you guys are creating, so I'll interrupt you as you're kind of creating, just to keep some kind of regular pace of conversation going. So I think that's the best way to do that. The easiest thing you can do at character creation is, you know your clans, everyone's decided, and you're going to pick your family in that clan. That's going to give you a bonus to one of your traits. And then you're going to pick a school, and that's going to give you all your starting skills, your equipment, and I think it also comes with a bonus to another trait, if memory serves. So that kind of rounds out. From there, you go through a rounding out of the character or a personalization of the character. But 2 people going to the same school kind of have the same skills and a lot of the same training, and that's why the game's represented that way. Now, for those who are completely new to the idea of Legend of the Five Rings, it's based on the concept of Mio Musashi's Book of Five Rings, which is a read by every Japanese student, I believe, in Japan. The focus in this world, which is a kind of a fantasy Asia, it's a blend of mythology across the various Asian cultures, with a heavy emphasis on feudal Japan. But it is not Japan. It is Rokugan, and Rokugan will vary based on games. So even though there's kind of meta police that focus on this, we're doing our own thing with it. So don't expect to know exactly everything that's going to take place here. Yeah. All right. I'll give you all a second to get situated, and then we can start with some interviews. If anyone has questions, let's see. Do we have the raise the hand feature in here? We don't, do we?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. You know what? I have Discord up on a second place, so you can just DM me there. I'll keep an eye on it. If you have questions as we go. For now, we'll dive into that. Maybe we'll start with, does anyone have any like general questions about the setting or what we're doing here?
Not for me.
Okay, I thought N was going to talk there. I saw the mic move over. I was like studying. I was like, yeah. So no.
Sorry. I was on mute. I did have a couple of questions.
Okay.
But most of my questions was, okay, so like, you know how you have the situation in the Origins where some of the clans in the like, you gave us our separate little I'm with the Phoenix clan, and
yep,
people are with different clans, and then you had like a section where this is how the other clans see each other's clans. How deeply do you want us to play into the politics of that?
For sure. Okay, so I'm not going to mandate that anyone follow the politics of your clan. Those are the stereotypes. However, it is a dramatization, and you are youthful with little experience outside of your clans. So you might, that might lead to the idea that some of the stereotypes are accepted. Some of the rivalries between these clans are accepted. Is that helpful?
Oh, yes.
Yep. I don't mind a little bit of cutthroat because at the end of the
I
day,
have one.
yeah, I was just gonna say at the end of the day, the key thing to hold on to is you're like the Harry Potter kids at 14 or 15. Like you aren't quite samurai yet, so you don't have access to the weapons outside of training weapons. You are not, able to just go fight a war on behalf of your people. That's what the adulting ceremony grants you. It's like being knighted, basically. Once you overcome the trials, you reach adulthood, and you have not only your wakizashi, which is your soul, but you'll have your katana, which is for those who are bushi, which is warrior. That is your right to bear arms, effectively.
A question, Bob. Why don't you tell us about the big differences between the big three classes, as it were, for this game?
Yeah, that's fair. We'll take 4. There's kind of 4 now. So the bushi are the warriors. They are the warrior caste, effectively, of the samurai. They are the most abundant. Like the majority of the samurai are bushi, and they are the warriors. They make up the armies. The shugenja, or they're kind of the more priests than mages. Like they have magic, but the magic all comes through the kami. So it's kind of like a mixture of both prayer and magic on behalf of the gods, effectively. They are the least common. So if you think of there being hundreds of samurai, there's maybe a few shugenja out of that grouping, out of every 100. There are monks, which usually are their own caste, but there's some weird clans out there. Just gonna throw the dragon under the bus here. The dragon have an abundant amount of tattooed monks, actually. Their chief family, the Tagashi, are known for it, and they have a number of servants under them. Then finally, there are the courtiers. So they are most represented at court. Does that answer the question?
Mm.
Good.
Absolutely.
And what would you say are the core differences between what we're doing with our, like, what edition are we using? And
so we're using Legend of the Five Rings 4th edition. I made mention of that at the beginning there. This is not the most recent edition. It was bought from the original game design team at AEG, or Eldorec Entertainment Games. And the system changed to the Fantasy Flight Games system with proprietary dice, which is perfectly fine. It's a good enough system. It's not my preferred system. I loved the original game. This is the most polished of the 4 editions of that game, so that's why I use this one. And on that note, just so you know, you'll have a little bit less XP to work with than the base 40. The base game assumes that you have 40 XP coming out of your character because you're already rank 1. You've already gone through your adulting ceremony, all that stuff. You haven't yet. None of you have yet. So you'll have 32 XP. That is in the 4th edition rules channel for you at the bottom. It's called Modifications for Youth Characters. All right. All right. I'm going to do it this way. All right. Tone, why don't you tell us about what you've decided so far?
So far, I have decided on the family, the clan, Falcon Clan, which is a minor which is a minor, or what's the actual, a lesser clan, I think is the
Minor clan, you had it.
term.
You had it, yeah.
Minor clan? Yeah, and which is pretty cool because it is the ghost hunters. They are the exorcists and the specialists with the supernatural. They like to listen, and they will ultimately hear. You know, if there's like a ghost coming or attacking, technically, you know, they would hear it first before anybody. I mean, that's how cool we are. So he's probably going to tell everyone just to be quiet. Just, you know, please, just so I can listen. But that's what I got so far. There's only one family in this clan, which makes it easy. Toritaka. So my character's name is Kazumaru. So Toritaka Kazumaru. And the only one school as well, the Toritaka Bushi.
Awesome. All right, and just for your own awareness, now the minor clans aren't typically invited to the Topaz Tournament. However, the Crab, which have 2 ranks to send here, opted to only send 1. So you are going as kind of a gift from the Crab.
Well, thank you so much. I think I'll have to send thanks or something like that. But I know that I think there's some politics even between our minor clan, the Falcon clan, with the Crab clan. They're taking it over, if I'm not mistaken. Is that?
We'll talk about that. May or may not happen in our setting. We'll see. It's okay. There's a lot of lore advancement that happened through the game as it was a living game for several years. So we're going back in time to before any of those things happened. So it might be our own alternate reality, as it were. So, yeah.
Awesome.
That's perfect. And yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know in DMs on Discord, and I'm gonna bounce around to the next person.
Is
All
this
right.
kind of just okay?
N, let's hear about you. What do you got decided so far? And if you don't have much, that's okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I know that you've seen my notes.
It's true. Whatever
This is
you want to
true.
share publicly, so you don't have to share.
This
Like,
is
we're not
true.
talking secrets or missions tonight. That'll be
Okay,
done
cool.
in secret. Yeah.
Cool. So, I have an idea, and like I said, Aladdin, because I've been thinking about this for a bit. So I have this weird idea. I'm gonna just read what I wrote. I have this weird idea of a kid who grew up in the Asako family, but wasn't really an Asako. They were just a child taken in by the Asako from another clan or family because they had been orphaned. And whatever rhyme or reason, other clans or families couldn't take them in. I like the idea of someone who doesn't have any magic going into this super magical house, taught all of its histories, taught all of the ways of understanding magic, not being able to do any of it, and then being told by the Sako, this is how you repay your debt. You protect the house. And they become a bushi.
Love it.
This is the idea I'm going for. And they will say bushi, but in formal terms they'll call it bougie. I'm bougie because I'm
What now for the Bushi, and what school did you pick? Just for curiosity.
I'm still not sure.
Okay.
Because I really like the Shiba and I also like the Isawa, but I think you need magic for the Isawa.
You do.
Shugenja, right?
Yeah, Shugenja. Yeah.
So I think I'm good with the fast track of going Shiba Bushi.
Perfect.
Where they were, like, the idea I have of this person is that they were taken from another minor house or a minor clan because they had been orphaned. And I don't know which clan that is. I don't know how that would link up to another clan. we don't have a lot of time anyway to figure that out. All we know is that they were taken in by the Asako. Someone within the Asako family looked at Miami and was like, "We'll take them in. We'll adopt them in."
You're underestimating my desire to make your life hell through your background. So, as a GM, so in that sense, don't worry. I got like oh no, it's Scorpion tactics. That's what I do. I mean, Scorpion are great. All right, I'll shift gears here. We'll go right up to Cleansing Rain from there. Why don't you tell us about your character?
I have landed for my character for this campaign on being Danzo Hida, a member of the Hida family within the Crab clan. The Hida is the most prominent and numerous of the Crab clan. Typically depicted by their larger frames, just look like they are built for otherworldly combat. For those that aren't aware, the Crab clan bears a striking similarity to Castle Black and the Game of Thrones Wall, where they guard the southwestern border of Rokugan on the Carpenter Wall, a 700-mile stretch of wall that the Crab clan has fended back shadow beasts and influence of the taint for some time. Danzo.
Word's gonna kill people, by the way. I'm just gonna say it. It did in every game I ever played, because, yeah, we all have... Anyways, continue. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Danzo isn't super familiar with his origin, but because of his clan that he is a part of, and he hasn't been overly concerned with his past. He more thinks forward to the common protecting of the wall. He does acknowledge it to be a large honor to be sent for this tournament. However, he has some skepticism about his own worthiness or the reason he was chosen, given some recent semi-local political problems that have mentioned his name in a darker depicted light, to where he was kind of happy to leave the major cities of the Crab clan for a short while to attend this tournament, as there's a tad bit of controversy surrounding his moral aptitude. Danzo is in, did I say he was a Hidabushi as the class or the school?
Okay, great. On that note, too, I'll just... something very new for anyone in Legend of the Five Rings. Your family name goes before your given name. So you'll be Hida Danzo,
sure.
Not Danzo Hida.
And from watching, I was just trying to make that more straightforward for those not aware.
Awesome.
But
yeah. That's very fair. So. Sorry to cut you off. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
I mean, in the nature of things that I kind of enjoy about what I've made for Danzo, I will share kind of a dark backstory thing. Not very long. But without, I don't know if that dumps into too much stuff.
Keep your secrets. They can come.
Right,
your secrets can come out on screen. Absolutely. Don't worry. This will be a drama, so we're gonna tap into the. We'll tap into the secrets on the way. But if there's anything not secret you want to mention about him, like anything you want to be either very publicly known or a little known, you can
okay. Yeah. I will expound just a tad on perhaps some rumors that may have spread from that I was referring to when I said he had a little bit of political controversy going on. Danzo, for the last 8 or 9 years, has lived at Higashiyama Mura, which is a mountainous village on the more western than southern portion of Crab Clan's territory. Near this mountainous town, there are a handful of mountains and caves that the Crab Clan has never been able to completely eradicate of shadow beasts. In fact, the longest period of time is about 3 weeks ways that they can keep the caves uninfested. They just continually get infested, but they're generally lower level Oni and Mons. And it's so much so that the Crab Clan typically invites children the age of 13 and up to begin expeditions clearing out these caves because it's typically fantastic training and not always too risky. Danzo has done or led a handful of these over the months or potentially years, sometimes emerging as the only survivor, sometimes with the entire team intact. But there have been some rumors circulating about why some groups come back not completely whole, and Danzo's name has been brought up in a negative light a time or two.
Yeah, the rest of the Empire is over here playing Shogun, and you're over there fighting the Night King at the wall. So it's fair. That's definitely the crab opinion too of most of the other clans is like, hey, are you helping us much? If not, start. All right. So I wanted to just elaborate on a question that did come up. So if you're confused about what gives you your trait bonuses, which are you have 5 rings, you have earth. I might say these out of sync because they switched where they are on the new sheets. But earth, water, fire, air, void. And then 4 of those rings have 2 traits underneath them. So for example, earth is stamina and willpower, if memory serves. The only one that doesn't have 2 traits is void. So void, for all those 4 traits other than void, you have to get both of them up to the next level for your ring score to go up. So if you want your earth to be 3, you need a 3 stamina and a 3 willpower, or else your ring won't go up. Void has no traits, it's only void. And so void costs a little bit more to go up, and there's stats on how to raise your void. The other thing I wanted to quickly answer is, how do you get your starting traits? Everything starts at 2, save for the exception of a bonus from your school and a bonus from your family. And it's usually a +1 and a +1. All right, Rebecca, why don't you tell us about your Crane character so far? Yeah.
Well, I am going to be Doji Yuna, and she is a courtier, training in the fine arts and diplomacy and all of that sort of thing. She is the youngest of her family so far. And
Caveat of so far.
well, things happen. And yeah, she's got 2 older brothers, who are very, well-to-do, high-class sort of cultural higher ups and such. They sort of man about town types, and they've helped raise and influence Yuna more than anyone else.
All right. And so Doji family, Doji courtier school? Excellent. All right. Let's see here. By the way, if you're seeing delayed shout outs, I've got a time limit on how often I can shout things out. So I've done 2 so far. I'll get to all the streamers. Ree, you're up next. What can you tell us about your character?
So, what I can tell you and what I will tell you are 2 very different questions because I'm going to be representing the Scorpion clan. my character, Yogo Akari. And so I believe as a Yogo, that gives me +1 to willpower. And as I will be a student of the Soshi Shugenja school, that is +1 to awareness. Akari has lots of secrets.
Oh. Yeah. What do you have an idea for her mask? The funnest part of scorpions, because all scorpions wear a mask.
I do, and in fact, I'm helping out with the by doing some character portraits of everyone for this stream, which will probably be visible when we do our first session. And I have completed the art for my character. Her mask. It is an eye mask, and it's sort of an abstract depiction of a scorpion, sort of claws and stinger.
It looks great.
Thanks.
But you know what? I'll pull it up in a little bit just so people can see some of the art. Maybe I'll get some of it cycling. So, because you have some.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I have 1.5 more portraits to go.
Yeah, exactly. We are going to, by the way, I'm going to give myself an extra writing week because I'm not entirely suicidal. I'm going to make sure that we take 1 week break after this week, and then we'll be back for early May for the very first episode. And this is a short stream. This will be only dealing with the Topaz Tournament itself, so it'll probably be, let's say, 4 to 8 weeks is the target. So.
Might I interject a question?
Go for it.
Right now, are we to be filling out anything more than the unsanctioned PCs, just filling out our name, clan, and school? Or do we go ahead and
you can
take
actually start
points and whatnot?
Yep. You can start diving in, and then feel free to ask me questions in DMs as you go. I've been answering some on the side. If you think something's more of like a public question, go ahead and throw it out like you did. I think that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to quickly skip over to Yampa. Let's talk about your character, friend.
Hi, I'm not muted. Am I? No. I am representing the Unicorn Clan, and my family is a Moto family. So as barbarian as I can get, I think. And yeah, I think he is going to be. I'm not sure yet. I think he's a Bushi. He's a Moto Bushi. He's a warrior. Still ironing out some things on how he will act and such, but I think he'll be a big guy, regardless.
Understood. All right. And do you have any questions while I'm here with you?
Not as of right now.
Excellent. All right, we'll go over to Matt. With, what can you tell us about your character? What do you want to tell us about your character?
I'm really excited about this character. I'm going to try to make this the most cinnamon roll sort of character, full of sincerity, full of hope, full of joy sort of character. I'm really looking forward to it. His name is Muramoto Kazumi, and he is part of the Dragon Clan in the Muramoto family as well as school. So he'll be trained in the way of two swords, or as they call it, Niten.
Which is directly based on Miyamoto Musashi himself. Or he was
exactly right.
Yeah. Very cool.
So I'm kind of hoping to be like a kind of like an intermediate sort of character, like the character that can be in, can hang out and talk with everyone and do that sort of thing. I'm also hoping to play him rather naive, which I'm really looking forward to.
Sorry about that. That one, that got really loud. Weird, it's way down. I'm not sure why it was cranked up. There we go. I'll mess with the sound. Some of this was a test, let's say. Okay, and then I guess this brings us to you, Mark. I don't have to roll for you. You are the last one here.
Hello, I will be playing Akodo Takashi of the Lion Clan, of the family of the Akodo, and of the school of the Akodo Bushi. He is loyal to his empire and to his emperor. He lives to fulfill the wishes of his ancestor, Akodo, ensuring that the traditions of martial superiority as well as honor is followed, and that the code of Bushido is always followed to the highest degree. He also has a bit of tragedy in him, because what good character doesn't? And he managed to witness the seppuku of both his father and his oldest brother, leaving him the oldest of his father's sons, the only one left to carry on his father's name and legacy.
Indeed. And I will make a note, since we have 3 very specifically positioned people here on the stream. I have... did I do it right? I mean, technically, you're on my left hand, Mark, but you're on the right on the stream, right? Is that how it works? Well, I don't know. I tried. I gave it my best. So, Mark, you
on your right.
Yes, you're on. Yeah.
You are the Lion Clan, which are known as the right hand of the Emperor.
Right hand of the Emperor.
The left hand of the Emperor is the Crane. And the underhand of the Emperor, which is more informal named, but they don't necessarily shy away from it, is the Scorpion. That isn't to say that the others don't play a significant role. We have the Unicorn, who are effectively the Emperor's cavalry. We have the Crab defending the wall. We have the Dragon, who represents the Tao, the Kami, the Shinsei. We have the Phoenix, who are the Master Shugenja. And we, of course, have our minor clans, who represent a number of different specialties and expertise outside of the great clans. Most of them came from at one point. Did I miss somebody?
No. I was just being in character saying, "Oh, who?"
Yeah, that's
Who?
That's fair.
Who?
That's fair. That's very Crane of you. Okay, I did want to draw everyone's attention to Bushido, because I'm going to be doing something house rule-ish with it. And let me pull open what I need to do this. Okay. So there are multiple tenets of Bushido. All of your clans kind of bring out, the great clans all have a tie to something specific. And then the minor clans do as well. So I'll be sure to get yours, Tone, in the future. But the Crab clan is linked to courage. The Crane clan are linked to courtesy. The Dragon clan to sincerity. The Lion clan to honor. The Phoenix clan to righteousness. And Scorpion clan to duty and loyalty. The Unicorn clan to compassion. I will fact check these details and get back to you. But through these tenets of Bushido, you'll have abilities to gain bonuses on your rolls when you're doing something on behalf of that. So kind of drawing from, I love me some Pendragon. I like the idea of passions. You can draw on those a number of times a session. It'll probably be like once a session. You'll be able to draw on that to get some extra bonuses when it matters. Okay. So I have a couple of questions. For the school, you'll see a list of skills. You get a point in every one of those skills automatically. Sometimes it'll say something like this or this skill, or any one of this type of skill, or any one skill. Those are indicators that you get to pick one free skill and put a point in it.
And on the sheet where you add skills, it has like a trait and type. Are those things to enter? Is that stuff that we can look up in the rulebook, or is that stuff to just?
Yeah, you can add that. It'll probably help with your automatic rolls. Though we probably won't be using the roller out of the character sheet, because I notice it has some limitations. Like if I do, there's certain things I can just type in chat, like 8K2 will roll me 8 dice and will keep the best 2 and show that to everybody. So it's pretty handy. Saves a lot of time with math in the system, and it does the auto explosions. If you're doing something untrained, you can put a U before it, so U2 keep 2, and then it won't re-roll explosions. So even if you roll the 10, it will just keep it at a 10. It won't keep going up. Because when you're unskilled in something, you don't get to the open-ended dice thing. There's also emphasis you can get. And when you're rolling a skill with an emphasis, when you roll ones, they get to re-roll. And when you put in the emphasis, an E before your roll, so if I do E for keep 2, if I roll the 1, it would re-roll that one for me automatically. So, don't worry about knowing all the things I said. I'm just saying them.
Right.
So, yeah.
I was gonna say, you're gonna have to keep reminding me that.
At the very worst, you just roll a number of d10s, and then we add more d10s if you need more. Like if you explode, then we add 2 more and add 2 more. Yeah. But the end of the day, the system's pretty straightforward. You're rolling a number of d10s equal to your trait plus your skill for most things, and then you keep only your trait. So you keep your highest dice according to your trait. When dice explode, though, that's super useful because you might end up with really, really big numbers. And damage also behaves that way. So it can be a very deadly game where one dice can just keep going off, and all of a sudden it's time to bury your brother, let's say. Okay.
I notice in the descriptive of Hitabushi School, for example, it lists an honor amount. Are we to tweak honor amounts as well as add the equipment from the outfit to the characters?
Yeah,
or are we
I think
supposed to leave our honor values defaulted?
Let me just make sure there's nothing about you being youngins related to honor, but I believe not. I believe you just get to go ahead and add your honor. I think it's your status that changes. So yes, whatever your school says for your honor, that is your honor.
And do
that's
we
the honor
immerse
rank
it
in Foundry?
Yeah, honor rank in Foundry, correct.
Oh, perfect. So mine is 5.5, so honor rank would be 5.5.
Yes. Let me look real quick. Yeah. So if that's from your school, correct, Tone? Your Takabushi?
Right.
Yeah. So your honor would be 5.5. The way the system works is your rank is 5, and then you collect dots up to 10 underneath 5. So 5.5. If you get to 5.10, you go to 6. Like 5.9, and then 5.10 rolls over to 6. And conversely, because it can happen, you can lose honor from doing awful things, and you usually lose the bottom number first. But if you do something terrible enough, you can lose whole ranks of honor as well. So,
Challenge accepted. I'm just kidding. No.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's a race to the bottom.
We did the intros of everybody, so if you have non-secret questions now, just feel free to take your chance to ask them. And I'll keep a tab on the Discord as well.
I
You
would very
actually were
much like
talking
a
about. Sorry, you go on.
Go.
Oh, I was gonna ask Bob if he can go over the relationship rules he put together.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Because we probably should talk about that at some point. So if you... let me just find the thread with them. I didn't pin them, but I found them. So we're good. We're good. All right. So we wanted to play into the idea of there being a bit of drama. You know, we're going for more of a Netflix series kind of vibe to this, or, you know, a streaming series vibe. And I also know that it's real desirable sometimes to want to link up to all the characters. We're asked to do it often in D&D and stuff like that. It makes sense when you're a party. For this, we wanted to feel a little more like Bridgerton or something like that. In that vibe, you might have connections, but they're through families, and, you know. So what we're looking for here is a 5-point system of relationships. You get 8 points overall. I will just repost it here so everyone knows where it is. In OOC chat, I just linked to it. Okay, so with your 8 points, you get to establish relationships with other players. You have a total of 8 points. So if you wanted to, you could establish small relationships with everybody, but they'd be small. And each rank is represented by the number of words. So a 1 rank is 1 word. You might say like rude or handsome or shy. A 2 rank, which is slightly more of a relationship, like maybe you've been acquainted and met them a few times. That might be knowing a bit more about them. Like, they're always smiling, and I know that, or they're quite irritating. Every time they talk to me, it bothers me. Or they're often kind. Moving to rank 3, now you're saying this character means a bit more to your storyline. This is kind of the catalyst for that. So at rank 3, you're now using 3 words. So it might be you will pay for what you did to me, but I'm not going to say those words because I'm not allowed to. My good friend, or falling for her. Something that gives you a quick note to your important relationship with them, and it can be positive or negative. It doesn't have to be a good thing. Moving into rank 4, you're kind of at what would be considered a very strong relationship at this point. Examples are like, I will cherish you, or I will never forget. Those are examples I used. So you're bordering on the realm of karmic ties at this point. Your relationship with this person is going to affect probably both of you going forward. Finally, there's rank 5. Rank 5, you can only have 1 rank 5. So you really have to choose that. If you choose to go with a rank 5, you are effectively saying we are tied karmically together. One example might be prepared to die today, or I will love no other. You're making some extreme statement about this, and they're tied to you. And surely that won't be the end of your world or the end of theirs. I'm sure it'll all be fine. But yeah, it's always meaningful at 4 and 5. It's pretty significant. At 5, it's like extreme. You know, you are destined to another character.
Yeah, and these can be completely unrequited. Like, someone can have a 4 for you, and you can have like a 1 or a 2.
Nope. There was a limit. There was a limit. Yes, a 4 up to 4, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, up to
Gotcha.
4, it's
So you
fine.
could have a 3 on someone and they could have like a 1 for you. But if it's 4 or 5, it has to be reciprocated.
I don't think I listed a reciprocated requirement in 4, but on 5 it does. 5,
Okay.
they must have a 3
Okay.
point link back to you.
Gotcha.
All right.
Are those values determined before we begin or as we start playing?
Before we begin, ideally they're done tonight, but not necessarily on camera. They can be done behind the scenes as well, as long as they're ready to go for session 1, and ideally probably by next. Let's put a deadline of next Saturday, so I have the ability to write your Doom using them if possible. So. yeah, we avoid the crazy stalker vibes. Like, you can be a level 4 stalker, not a level 5 though. That's right out.
It's right up.
Limits on how much of a stalker.
Yeah.
Okay.
We draw the line at 4. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mute myself all this time. I'm like typing away. I do have a quick question, if that's okay. If we are to build our degrees of separation, who has tea? Like,
I
who's thinking
always
about
have tea, darling.
Who's
I'm
thinking
like
about
the alpha
tea?
bitch
Okay,
of the group.
okay. So I switched
What's the crate
midway.
Whatever.
So I switched midway. I am not a bougie anymore. I'm gonna be less bougie and more shigenja, but that's okay. We're still cool. Question. So in the description of the Phoenix Clan, I have tea on. Let me pull up the tea here. I have tea on. I have the tea on the Scorpion Clan, who might be just like the one clan that kind of gets to the Phoenix Clan, and then slight problems with the Crab Clan. Just like slight problems with the Crab Clan. It's very slight. I mean, we're pacifist. We're a very pacifist family. We want to get along with everybody. As you can tell, everybody has proper opinions about the Phoenix Clan. But in terms of the two clans that I see that would have a little bit of a cooler meaning with this character, it would be either Scorpion or Crab. So I'm just trying to figure out degrees of separation. Do we know each other?
Yeah, so that's precisely what you're kind of defining here. If you don't have at least 1 point, at best you know of them, or like you could be like related. You know, you meet a cousin sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, I guess I had a cousin. Like, I can't remember their name. Like, maybe that's just me growing up Italian, but like that, you know, that was a common thing where in Rokugan that's going to be very much the same. You might have relationships, kin, we'll call them, across clans, because people will marry across clans.
What if you're an orphan who doesn't remember anything?
Yeah. So I think staying away from family there makes sense, because you don't know.
So how would I have gotten involved with either the Crab Clan or the Scorpion Clan in a way that going into it I might be a little bit more nervous if I actually apprehend, say, Danzo or Rebecca's character, which I forgot their name.
Yuna.
I'm gonna write that down.
But if you're looking for the Scorpion, then you'd be asking Ree.
Ree. Sorry, Ree.
That's all
and
right.
then
all good.
I'll Ree. Okay, and I don't have Ree's character's name. Hold on.
Akari.
Yogo Ikari. Got it. Okay. So, and I know that Cleansing Rain has Danzo. So, how do I know Danzo and how do I know Akari? Let's like I'm thinking she's about 16 and she kind of looks like this. There is an art that I already like there is an art thing. Give me a second. Oh, I was talking to so many people I got distracted. Okay. So I pulled this from the internet. That's where we pull these things from, is the internet. And it looks like this. Okay. So this is what she looks like. It's in the Discord chat. Add a character. So that's what my character looks like. How do you guys know them? I need to start writing T.
It's
How
possible
do
they
we
don't.
know?
Keep
Not
in mind.
up to right.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think you're only like in charge of how you would be like your perceptions of them right now. Yeah.
I would say also, like, at the bare minimum knowledge, you have a list of the other contestants' names and what families they are from.
That's true.
And therefore, you can draw, hey, everyone in my clan growing up has always told me that such and such about this family over there. I ain't ever met any of them, but this is what I'm led to believe. Now, whether or not you want to act on that predisposed position of your family is up to your character. If you choose to not have so much of a familiar bonding with your clan's perception of the world, then so be it. I will say, and to not be mistaken, you are Phoenix, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would lead
Yeah.
off by saying, the wall does not smile at the horde, neither do I smile at you.
Ah, fair.
That was Shadowlands Horde, for those that might not have caught that. That is what they protect the Empire from, is that which is beyond the wall.
Oh,
The Phoenix
Shadow
Clan
Monk.
respects. The Phoenix Clan does respect the work of the Crab Clan. Make no offense.
Everyone respects the work of the Crab Clan.
Indeed.
Jeez.
Without your work, then the wall would topple over, and we would be fighting with the monsters beyond the wall.
I will.
You know,
I'll
it is
add.
nice to find one who realizes such wisdom.
Mm.
Others are not so easy to see the sacrifices made by the Crab Clan.
I'll add
Perhaps
one.
I will smile at you one day. Sorry, I'm just trying to play around a little bit.
I get it. I'm trying to leave room
That's
for
great.
it. It's
Ooh, okay. We're getting our characters. Sorry. Okay. Cool. Okay, that was my one and only question.
Let me add
And I'm
something
gonna-
for you, though, there that's vital. So, for the relationships with other characters, that is the exception to the rule, or can be the exception to the rule, right? You might think, like, if you're playing in a Kodo, you might think all scorpions are underhanded. That doesn't, but you might be like, all scorpions, but Ree's character.
That's sad.
And this is why, yeah. Like, you can do stuff like that. It's it gives you a chance to bring the relationship aspect out a bit. So it's like a personalization. Maybe there's one person you have an opinion that defies the stereotypes that you would normally lean into. So that you'd ever talk about that, though, because relationships don't count in Rokugan, right? Honor and duty and all that first, right?
And I have been trying to get a little bit of a sense of everyone's character, so building pre-existing relationships and dynamics or setting things up is one of my favorite things to do at the beginning of any TTRPG. So anyone who has ideas, definitely let me know.
I imagine at the very least, I'll probably have 1 point for everyone except for Tone, sorry, Minor Clan, I do not care about you. And probably too for Mark and Ree, just given their connection to the Emperor, the right hand and the underhand. So as of right now, I think that's my idea for where I'm going.
So I'm gonna
Rather, I should say Yuna doesn't care about you, not me.
I'm gonna play the role of the team that goes around the reality TV show and tries to make people dislike each other more. So I will note, Tone, that this is common Greater Clan nonsense that you get all the time. In fact, it's been so bad of late that there's been rumors. Just recently, actually, 3 of the clans put together the 3-man alliance, which was an alliance of minor clans, and then there's been greater talks with very renowned samurai of the Mantis from the Isle of Silk. The Mantis clan and their famed daimyo, known as Yoritomo, has been going around these parts. Don't listen to the Crane. They'll tell you that, they've been raiding shipping lanes, etc. All that nonsense. But, yeah. So that's I'll be throwing a little bit of tea in here as we go. Speaking of the Crane, actually, we can't talk about the Crane without talking about the lion, and the lion's most recent attempt to claim contested territory. They'll tell you, but we all know that it was Crane held, and they raided the Crane, and you know what? They paid for it. They lost the head of their clan in the process. An embarrassing loss for the right hand. The army of the Emperor lost a territorial dispute in these times of peace. And the younger brother was pulled from the monastery in Kodo Totori to take up the mantle of his dead brother.
My question then would be for Yampa.
Yes.
Where would you see the unicorn clan in all of this? Because I think at some point the unicorn clan and the Phoenix clan would have spoken at some point, just because they would be interested, especially my family would be interested in the knowledge that the unicorn clan would bring from far and away. We are the lore masters of the empire. Just #saying.
I think my character specifically will kind of look at the rest of you guys as like uptight, noble, since he is from the Moto family. He is technically from outside of Rokugan. But I don't think he will like outwardly show it. I don't, considering the Phoenix clan, I don't think he'll, I don't know. I guess it'll be quite neutral at the start, I guess. I do know that for the Lion clan, Mark, I think you're going to be my nemesis, I think.
Oh boy. Fun.
But for the rest of you guys, I think it'll be quite neutral. Maybe not the Scorpion clan, because Scorpion's icky,
So the tricky thing about the unicorn are that they left the Empire years ago, and when they returned with foreign Gaijin warhorses. Now those lands were held and kept by the Emperor's greatest, the Lion clan, and of course returned to the unicorn. Of course, there might be some disputes around borders and boundaries, what should have been gifted back and what was gifted back. It's hard to say. So the lion know that there's territorial disputes on their border for the unicorn. I'll keep spilling terrible news for people. So we have not one but two cursed families being represented here. We have the cursed family of the Yogo. What do you want to tell us about the Yogo?
It's a burden that we all carry. If you're lucky, you fulfill it when you're young. I suppose technically, if our Phoenix friend up there is adopted by the Asakos, we could technically say that we're related in a sense, as the founder of the Yogo family was an Asako at one point, till he was cursed to betray someone that he loved. And that curse was passed down through the generations. And he was approached by Yushi of the Scorpion clan, who said, "Hey, why don't you come join our clan? Come work with us." And he said, "Well, why would you want me? I've been cursed to betray the person I love." And Bayushi said, "Well, you don't love me, so come on over." And he's like,
I'm a piece of shit. Join us.
Fair point. Good point. And they've been scorpions ever since.
What do you want to tell us about the Moto, unicorn friend?
What?
You know their
damn it,
curse.
Are they cursed? I didn't know that. Are they?
What's that?
Are they cursed? I'm not well versed on that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll speak to that. So, the Moto were one of the extended families that came back with the unicorn. More foreigner, which this game definitely leans on that idea of the Japanese and the gaijin. So it uses the same phrase, gaijin, for foreigner. Everyone who's not in the Empire is a foreigner. They're foreign. They're kind of an insular culture. So with the exception of the unicorn, very few have actually reached out and drawn any sort of bridge. Some of that is because foreign folk had come here early on and raised hell. So it's not entirely unreasonable or unbiased. It's more like they were bitten on their first attempt, and so they avoid it. But when the unicorn returned, they heard of the peril beyond the Carpenter Wall, and it was a great Moto army that volunteered their hand to go and bring an end to such a terror. The only problem was they weren't so successful, and they say that Moto Sume, the daimyo of the Moto, fell there, and some crabs still claim that he roams on his dead steed even to this day, despite that being hundreds of years ago. A myth, of course, but everyone knows since that shame that the Moto are indeed cursed. Now, there is an interesting factor to this one, because, and this is for you, dragon friend, the dragon had two representatives that they could bring here because of their prestige and honor. It was the Muramoto brought forward you as their own, but it was the clan champion Togashi Yukuni himself who sponsored the cursed Moto friend of ours here, of the unicorn.
Oh, really? So the dragon champion supports the unicorn representative here.
Indeed. Which is kind of baffling to everybody, and yet not baffling at the same time. It's like, of course he would do the thing is going to make everyone scratch their heads. It's kind of the
yeah,
way...
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That sounds like them.
Thank you.
And don't worry, folks. It always feels overwhelming at first. You'd be surprised how quickly this comes to. And just remember, you're 15 to 16 years old. You're not meant to know everything.
I recognize that this question might be something you are preserving for the true session 1. Regardless, I also believe it might aid in our character creation. If you could perhaps give us some details about the Topaz Tournament and what exactly we are, why we would be encouraged or why we should be motivated to perform well at this tournament beyond our typical rite of passage.
Indeed. And I like that the Crab Clan asked the question because they're probably the least motivated out of everyone to be here. In fact, so unmotivated that they offered one of their seats to another clan just so they didn't have another person off the wall. But there is a very prestigious goal here. Not only do you get to join your adulthood at probably the most prestigious event for Gempukku ceremonies, but you get to do so likely in front of the Emperor himself, where he is said to be here this year. On top of that, those who become of age have the opportunity to compete in the Topaz Championship. So the Topaz Championship is a dueling contest. The successful candidate from there, the victor of the championship, becomes a Topaz champion and gets the famed Topaz armor. So it's a very prestigious armor and more meant from a ceremonial and less of a +5 to this, you know? But it's a very prestigious position. And the victor also can, again, do the crab really care, but the victor can join the prestigious Imperial or Emerald magistrates. That's a common pathway. So you would be able to join the Imperial lawmen of the land that roam and protect the land from threats within and without. And that's not required. It's just an option for the victor. As far as where you're traveling to, you'll be traveling to a tiny little village known as Tsuma in the Crane Lands. Tsuma is, I don't have it for those who are watching, but you can look up the name Tsuma. It is a small little village in the Crane Lands, right beside waterways and a mountain. It is also the home to the Kikita Dueling Academy. So the homeland of the Crane's most prestigious, and perhaps the Empire's most prestigious dueling academy. The Crane are known for their Ijutsu strike, which is they draw and strike one move. That is the only real true competitors to them as far as like consistency is the Mirumoto. They probably house the second most frequent. The dragons are the other renowned duelists, and then everyone else from there. There are, of course, occasionally winners from other clans, but the Crane are usually the favored ones. Worth noting that our courtier is unlikely to be this successful candidate, but don't worry, we'll have a Kikita Bushi that you're tied to, and I'm sure they'll be great and not at all a burden for you as a courtier. So just wait till I get to round out the cast we put together with some NPCs that make your lives a little less fun. So fun, out of character.
Love it. Love it. Just like, yeah, make my life miserable. I
It's
picked the
fine.
family. I'm ready for it. Obviously, this is what I want.
Yeah, it'll be good. I think we've got plenty of time in our 4 to 8 weeks to see some of the spicy stuff happen, and then based on where we go from there, if it's well liked by not only us but by an audience, maybe we'll come back months from now and do a part 2. So
That'd be cool.
and we can do a passage of time so you won't quite be as young. Like, we'll see.
just a question about leveling up. 32 XP points and spending.
Yep.
Because my school allows for like a skill of any choice. I guess it means like whatever's available, I can just pick one, and there we go. Now, in terms of leveling it up to a mastery, like to rank number 2, 3.
Yep.
Does it cost the same thing? Just 2.2 XP or?
So yes, in the Discord, I put some short notes there for you, but I'll just read them 1 sec.
Oh, new rank times 2.
Yeah, I just wanted to double check, but it's for skills, I believe it's the rank you're going to times 2. So 2 would be 4, 4 would be 8. But let me just verify that. Did that stuff really late at night, so that's why I still have it under construction. So I just want to make sure I got the math right.
And I guess it won't be a secret that crane is a byword where the Toritaka family is from. Son of a crane.
Yeah.
You should be so lucky.
I didn't even know that the crane had sons.
Well, your women say otherwise.
Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm going to like this.
What did you mean by that? I don't get it.
Oh, darling. I'd show you, but you'd have to be better.
As in, I gotta beat you in a sword fight? I can try!
Something like that.
Oh, dear. I feel there are many people here with very little minds. And very
Mine's
sharp
not the only
swords.
thing.
Words too are sharp, I suppose. Sharp swords, sharp minds, sharp words, all pointy things.
Hearts. Can't lose.
One
feel
must
like I am
ensure
under-
their wit is as sharp as their steel.
We don't have a problem with that.
Well, your strength is truly undeniable. I'm not sure
It is
about
not strength that will win the battle, but tactics.
Well, the battlefield is filled with sharp and pointy tactics. Many
I know
people.
that the crane are known for their quick strikes. However, they tend to forget that it is not the first strike that matters, but the last.
Our first strike is often the last.
You would think so.
I would, and I'd be right.
I generally do not find that to be the case.
Well, look
Perhaps I
harder.
have yet to meet a crane that follows this first and last strike philosophy.
Cranes mostly lead.
Well, both
Yeah,
of
they
you
do
are
not
very
lead as well as the
competent.
lion.
Both
Oh,
of you are
roar,
very
roar.
competent indeed. You must be from the Falcon Clan. Hello.
Hello.
I am Asako Mayumi. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine. I inside monologue. This is the first girl I'm talking to that's not my cousin. And I'm like,
That's
you
great.
come to the tournament often? Totally muted.
You're muted.
This is my first time here in the tournament. Yes, it is wonderful, I suppose. Too many people with very powerful personalities. Powerful personalities, indeed.
Are you
avoid the
afraid that you're
crane.
getting lost in the shuffle?
There is no such thing as fear, only doubt. And if you are afraid, then that's a good sign. You're alive.
And the nice thing is, when a crane dies, we get to kill them again in the afterlife. Oh,
I feel like that's a touch grim for such wonderful celebrations and events.
we don't get out much.
I can tell. And who had I the pleasure of speaking with? I believe
me?
names are important, right? Yes.
Oh.
No.
Yes,
Oh.
I thought you moved
No,
on.
yes?
I apologize. This is the longest conversation I've had with someone else from another clan.
Mind
name
you,
is Tori-
Oh, sorry. Go on. Continue,
Oh,
please. Please, you
Toritaka
first.
Kazumaru.
Pleasure. It is a pleasure indeed. I am. And as for the person from the Falcon clan,
Yes.
ah,
Are you,
oh, I'm struggling with my mic. Okay, we're good now.
I should pull up my picture so you can see because it's ready. Do we have the pictures up or no?
Not yet. I think we're
Um,
still developing and
Yeah, I was gonna put them all into things at once. Like you're gonna have tokens, and then we're gonna make sure they're visible on the streams. So
And I'll describe what he looks like. He's pale. He doesn't. There's not much sun in the Toritaka Tower near the Shadowlands. He does wear in his family, at least the sub family. You have to play the part so that you don't get noticed. So he has these darkened eyes, but he has two colored eyes. He has green and blue, which makes him stand out. With a bit of gray hairs in his jet black hair that's tied to the traditional ponytail at the back.
It will call me up my weakness in your minor clan. Ooh.
And I need fixing. I'm broken.
Oh no.
He's
I
broken.
do
Oh,
love
no.
a project.
I read books. I know how this works.
He's got the eyeliner on.
That's right.
Stop it, Mark.
Like
Wait,
moves.
what's the name of your character, Tone? Sorry.
Oh, it's Toritaka. That is the last name. And then Kazumaru. Kazu. CZ, Canadian. Maru.
Kazumaru. KAZUMERU.
ARU.
ARU. Ah, yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. And that's Falcon Boy. Because I keep messing the Dragon Clan with Falcon.
Falcon Boy, huh?
Falcon
That
Boy,
might just
sorry
stick.
about that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that emblem is.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't recognize it.
We'll see what happens by the end of the tournament.
Not all
Is
of
that
us.
a promise?
Maybe.
no, you're good. It's good to get used to the character and stuff. So I appreciate that you guys are doing this. I just wanted to do a quick character creation check-in and make sure everyone's managed to get to at least like skills and such at this point, like the XP portion of creation.
Yeah.
I have done little in that department. I've applied my bonuses from the school and family, but
I'm not too worried about it. Like, I think I'm going to set the creation deadline for maybe like Wednesday or Thursday, and then that'll give me time to write around the characters. And by that I mean the points are done and I can approve the sheet, and then I can start to use your sheet as a tool to write around it. So I like to custom create the narrative so they actually involve what the characters are doing. I've had too many bad experiences from like my youth of running in games where you like make a character and you're just along for the ride and there's no references to your actual link. And I promise I'm not that GM, so you're gonna have to deal with your past whether you want to or not. That's basically what it comes down to.
Could you elaborate on what Koku, Boo, and Zenny represent as far as monetary values?
Yep. Gold, silver, and bronze. Yep. So
and is it 100 system?
Yeah,
like 100,
and
100 Zenny is one Boo, 100 Boo is one Koku.
Yeah, exactly. Except for like super realistic, right? So this would be like 30 silver could feed a family well for like a week or a month. I mean, or you know what I mean? Like it's significant. A single Koku is a lot of wealth. If you have a Koku, you are a samurai. But all money is the emperor's. You're just holding onto a portion of it on his good grace. That's how the empire sees money. And totally the pirate mantis, they absolutely see it the same way. They'll tell you that, right? Yeah, it's the emperor's, absolutely. Of course. Yep. Even when we steal it from other people. I mean.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah.
So I have gotten to the part of the sheet where I've got all of the skills listed out and the techniques or spells somewhat listed out, but I don't know how to rank them, trait them, type them, emphasize, or whether or not they're a school skill, which I think most of mine are.
Yeah, so your starting spot with skills, the best thing to do with skills is start with exactly what your skill says your skills are, or school says your skills are. Whatever your school is, you have that list of skills as that's your starting package of skills, and then from there you can use experience to buy them up.
Okay, and we have 39?
No.
Or 32 XP, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then in the book, because I'm trying to find where it just
I do have a short guide for you, right in 4th edition rules. I'll just ping you. Actually, I'll ping everybody. So if you go to the 4th edition rules there, I gave you some shortcuts on the cost of skills in the customization or customize your character section. So like traits are new rank times 4. So if you're going from 2 to 3, it'll cost you 3 times 4, so 12 points. Void ring is new rank times 6, so it's significantly more expensive. Skills are new rank times 2. So if you're going from 2 to 3, that'd be 6 XP.
Okay, and so right now I've got my rank set to 0. So my rank should be 2 points for all of these then? Or just 0?
For traits or skills?
Rank.
Your rank at the top of your sheet? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, okay. Well, I've got rank 1, so they should all...
What are you referring to? Yeah, rank 1, insight rank. Insight rank 1 is what everyone will be starting at, for sure.
How about I just screenshot? I'll screenshot.
Okay, sounds good. And while you do that anyways, I'm going to go ahead and give us a little bit of a break so people can do what they need to here. And we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, we're in. We are back from break. I heard a couple of questions. I'm going to do my best to answer them. Your school rank comes from your insight. It's like a leveling system to some degree. So you need to achieve the next insight rank in order to be taught the next level of your school. The starting spells for Shugenja, it's kind of the same thing. You start with what you have. So spells for Shugenja, spells are scrolls by default. That is, it's effectively prayers to the kami that you recite, and that reciting process is what triggers the spell effect. You can memorize the spell though, and there is an XP cost for that. So you can memorize it. I believe I wrote that for, I want to say it's 2 XP? 1 XP to memorize the spell. So that would mean that you can just recite it from memory rather than using a scroll. But otherwise, you're literally, you might have seen some art with like someone with a scroll like this and like an action pose. That's kind of the vibe for when magic is used. Yeah. And like, even though Shugenja is like a base class in the setting, it's not like every second person's a Shugenja. There'd be like hundreds of Bushi to every one Shugenja. So.
Hey, how do I delete a skill that I didn't want there anymore?
Just mark it at 0.
Mark it at 0?
You can right click it and then a drop down thing will pop up and you can delete it there.
But if you can't figure it out, just put it at 0 and I'll get rid of it for you. So
no,
Discord can be, or not Discord, Foundry can be difficult sometimes.
Thank you. I appreciate the help.
Where are you guys finding skill names? Because it prompts me to rename a skill if I add one, or it just says new.
I have to put it in manually.
If you click on it, you can change it manually.
Yep.
Yes, but I'm saying where in the is it much further down in the doc?
Oh,
to find
the
list of skills.
It's like the next section, I believe, is where it lists all the skills. And their associated traits.
133 in the book.
If anybody has the PDF open, can you tell me what page?
I'm scrolling.
Page 133.
137-ish?
Ah, that would be why.
Yeah. It's 133 on the actual book, but you have to go to like 135 on the PDF.
I see.
Yeah.
I have a web page here that can help you a little bit with that too. Let's post it. All right. And we'll probably, we don't have to iron everything out tonight. Obviously, I know we're coming up on 2 hours, or we're past 2 hours, so we'll probably stick around for a little bit longer, and then we can raid out if we still have a pretty good crew. Yeah, we do. And then we can finish up the in-betweens before next Friday. So here's a link that'll give you a nice clean list of skills by their breakdown of whether they're high skills, bouquet skills, merchant skills, or low skills. Bouquet. Yeah. Low skills usually come with honor loss, like inherently as they're used, I believe, if memory serves.
Whilst on the conversation of skills, if I want to boost a skill from 1 to 3, would I have to spend 5 points, or would I be spending 3 points to do so?
You wanna boost it from what number to what number?
1 to 3.
1 to 3. So you're raising it from 1 to 2, which would be 1 times 2, so 2, and then you're raising it from 2 to 3. So you got to go each level. So then 2 to 3 will be 3 times times 2. So yeah, 8 would
6.
be
3 times
No.
2 is 6, yeah.
3 times 2, and then plus the 2 from the first part. Right?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me just make sure I got that math right too.
Because it's a new rank, right? So it's whatever the rank you get, you're buying.
If it's already at rank 1, then it's not new. Okay.
Yeah, but if you're going from rank 1 to rank 2, would it be 2 times 2 for a
Yeah.
skill?
Yep.
Alright, cool.
The number you're going to times 2 is
Cool.
Is there a limit to what we can raise a skill to? Like, you know, if we had the points and we wanted to dump it all in one skill. Not saying that I'm going to do that, but I'm just kind of curious because in D&D sometimes there's a rule where hey, you cap at 18 for the first level. There's a variant rule.
I think there's I think it's 3 if memory serves for this game. I'm gonna loosen that a little bit. I'm gonna allow people to go rank 4 if they want to go really hard in something, because we're not doing a balanced game. We're playing a drama, man. So
And then for the trait, it's the level times 4. So if I wanted to increase my earth to 3, it would be 3 times 4, eh?
yes, but it's the trait you're raising, not the ring itself. The ring will raise as both traits hit the next level. So if you're, for example, if your willpower and your stamina are both at 2, you need to get them both to 3 to get a
Before it increases. Gotcha. Okay.
The only exception to that is void. There is no traits, so it's just a ring raise, and that not a ring wraith. That's a different game. It's a ring raise, and it's times 6. The number you're going to times 6. So void is very costly. I think the reason for that is the people who are strong in void know they're strong in void, and there's usually a good reason for it. Like usually their school is tied to void somehow, or they have some kind of advantage on their list. So that's a quick short I just put in the foundry there. So raising a skill from 1 to 2 is 2 times 2 is 4. Raising from 2 to 3 is 3 times 2, which is 6. 3 to 4 is 4 times 2, which is 8. 4 to 5 is 5 times 2, which is 10.
Thank you.
And I'm just sitting here. What I'm doing right now is I'm typing out the cost for traits as well.
Oh, goodness.
I did not do this right.
and then void ring. So as you can see, void is very expensive. It's actually cheaper than buying both up of any other trait if you think about it, but because you have to buy both sides. So let me remind you what emphasis are in case you're interested in them. They're kind of like specializations of the skill. If you choose an emphasis in a skill, what that does is when you have an emphasis in something, you get to reroll ones when you roll that skill. So if I have an emphasis in the draw part of my Ujutsu strike or whatever, then I would be able to roll ones on that. Reroll ones.
And if it's an emphasis, does that mean it's just in brackets by that skill?
Yeah.
Because I have an animal handling brackets falcons.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you chose falcons there, you're that much better at it, and that's reflected through the game by allowing you to reroll your ones. So, which you can through a really easy formula, you can kind of make that happen automatically on your rolls as well. So it shouldn't be too painful. You can just you put the letter E before it. All right, there goes some books. It's fine. I didn't need those anyway.
Rough.
So real quick, everyone, if you want to just practice, just in the little chat section of Foundry, just type 5K2 and hit enter. No anything else, just the... That's a standard roll. It's as easy as that. And I'll roll that for you. The K stands for keep. So rolling 5, keeping 2. That would be, let's say I had the trait at 2 and I'm trying to hit someone with my katana. I believe that's agility that I'd be rolling for that kenjutsu roll. So I go to swing with my blade. My skill is 3. My trait is 2. I'm rolling 5. I'm only keeping my trait, which is 2. So I'm rolling 5, keeping 2. 2 highest. The system is cleverly named the roll and keep system.
Does it always keep the 2 highest, or is it up to us to choose which 2 are kept?
You know, it's interesting. I think it assumes 2 highest, but in drama, I think you could definitely
Such
not.
as how you might be intentionally failing a roll in D&D.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And, you know, in a dramatic stake, maybe it's your lover you're about to do something against and you opt not to give them the win.
Alright. Out of curiosity, is there anything you know of in this game that costs 1 experience? That's all I'm left with.
A skill!
Advantages, I think.
Advantages.
Have you even
Skills are worth at least 2 experience.
What I would do is go through your like skills and all that stuff, and then at the very end you're gonna get to advantages and disadvantages and be like, oh no, I want all of these, and then you're gonna shuffle around your points again.
Oh no, I've already done advantages and disadvantages.
Okay.
That's the first thing I did. That's why I got 1 left.
I did have a question because I've been looking. Do advantages and disadvantages like cancel out, and what's the limit of how many we can have?
In this edition, they actually count as XP. So it's just XP spent versus XP earned. There is a maximum of 10, though.
10, gotcha.
So,
cool.
But there's no like, you can cancel them out, but I would think of it more in XP. So if I get a disadvantage worth 4, I'm giving myself 4 extra XP that I can spend on something else. So.
Is there a limit to how many disadvantages? Like
10.
I know, yes. Like it'll give taking 10 points.
Oh, okay, but individual ones? No, not technically. Yeah. Like if
So
you could
if we
find
wanted-
10 one-pointers, good luck trying to find 10 one-pointers, but you could do it. Yeah.
And assuming that we would, keeping in mind rather that we would only get a max of 10, XP. Can we take more than that in terms of like disadvantages? Like if we really wanted to mess ourselves up for one reason or another.
Hey, Insomnia Night, welcome in, friends.
Hey, Insomnia!
Hey. All right. Welcome in, guys. We're just we're prepping our session 0 for Legend of the Five Rings, which we begin in a couple weeks here. So, yeah. To answer your question, which I kind of forgot the tail end of it.
Do we mess ourselves up real bad?
Yeah, you want to make your life even harder.
Maybe.
Yes, but don't be insane with it. That would be my only thing. Like, don't make it so bad that you like are, not much in the way of a character. But yes,
right.
If you want to have free disadvantages, so advantages that benefit you in no way, shape, or form, have at her. I mean, you're only giving me more tools as a GM, so I'm not going to say no to that.
And I want you to have fun, Bob.
Oh, I'll be fine. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Based on what I've heard tonight, I think I'm all good. So, yeah.
What, like in this game, what is more valuable, raising your traits or your skills?
So classically, the trait's better than the skill because it's your keep dice and those mean more. But you'll notice that some of your skills have they tried to, in this edition, they tried to sweeten the pot by giving you mastery levels of skills that make you want to go, oh man, I really could get, if I get level 3, that's so cool. Like, so, but in general, the trait is your keep dice. So they mean a little bit more. Like, especially if I'm a combatant, like I want to keep more than 2 dice if I can help it. I want to have 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, how valuable is actually raising the ring itself, the element ring?
It plays mostly into insight. That's the main reason to do it. Some things, some of your schools, specifically Shigenja, they go off rings sometimes with their spells and stuff. So the ring level means more there. But for Bushi, it's mostly used. Bushi use it mostly for insight to get to the next school rank, because it's very hard to do it without raising your rings to some degree. As a starting character, I always tell people not to worry about it unless you have spells that you want to use out of the gate. They give you a bonus.
Okay.
Still doing the rounds slowly for all the all the shout outs. For those who've just joined us, we actually have a very wide group of streamers on this one. So that's the very big cast. So we have Mortal Rolls, we have All Things Fantasy, we have Cat's Meow Show, we have Cleansing Rain, we have GM of Revan, and then we have the folks that participate in a smattering of these different stream groups. So, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of at the point where I'm thinking people might, not want to feel under the gun to finish their characters. Is there anything anyone wanted to go over while we're still here?
Not particularly, I guess not individually any one thing as much as just kind of a apprehensive. I don't know if I'm doing things of value to myself or detriment to myself.
I'll work on your sheet with you like after. So I'll be going through this week and looking at each sheet, making sure that it looks good, making sure no one's like completely making themselves useless in what they're focusing on. But it's pretty straightforward once you get used to the system. It's
Perfect, because that was exactly what I was going to ask as well.
yeah. Yep, I will tell you if you're really missing the boat with things. At the end of the day, you can always look to your school ranks, and that'll give you a hint of what's important to your what's important to you. Usually your family and your school rank kind of tell you already what's important to you, and so you're already on the right path automatically. And then it will hint at certain bonuses and perks from there to different skills, and as long as you have those skills, you're in good shape. But just to be clear, I'll go through everybody's and make sure they all look good. All right. Well, friends, it's past 11 o'clock for me, which means it's 2 a.m. for some of y'all. Why don't we go ahead and do a raid out here? I will just quickly see who we can pass the love on to here. Wanted to thank everyone again for participating and for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks with our first episode. I encourage you to come by and take a look. And we will go to Stardust Rhapsody. Let's see what this is all about.
Ooh.
A sci-fi bounty hunting D&D.
Oh, we got the art coming up.
Eh.
Right?
Thanks, Ree.
Thank you, Ree.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, and we'll go ahead and raid out. Just thanks again for everyone who's curious. I'll just note we are back 2 weeks from now. We have with us, I'll do like lightning outros for everybody because, you know, we don't need to do a round of outros right now. So we have All Things Fantasy with us. We have Mortal Rolls with us. We have Cat's Meow Show. We have GM of Revan. We have Cleansing Rain. And then we have Mark, Yampa, Rebecca, and me that are somehow tied into all this stuff. And Ree's been joining us for some other games as well. So yeah, encourage you to come back and follow us for this very short game of how do we put this? A tournament of the soul. Let's say a tournament of the soul.
Ooh.
Yeah, right.
Like that.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Woo!
DC 15.
Oh, sorry.
wisdom
Oh,
saving
I
throw.
thought you were saying
You're
cool
fine.
shit.
You're fine. You're fine.
Oh, wisdom?
Yep.
2.
7 necrotic damage.